I love the BBC.
Welcome to another episode of Beyond Beats and Culture. I'm your host of cultural commentary, Chase Dark Sage, here with my co-host
T.
And we're back with another episode of Hip Hop Goodness because we are the most consistent hip hop show on the platform itself. Make sure to subscribe and like the video if you haven't already. Check out the description where the timestamps is, along with our social links. And make sure you comment something for the YouTube algorithm to help support your boys. And in today's show topics, we're going to be talking about Young Thugs,
Scuti?
I forgot how he said it in the game.
He said it in the song, yeah.
God dang it. Yeah, he said it in the song with him and T.I. Hip Hop 101 is Busy B correct on Drake not being hip hop. We also have a new hip hop podcast coming out. Not us. I'm saying the culture has a new hip hop podcast coming out because we really needed this from our OGs. And should people continue to work with Kanye and maybe a little Toure rant at the end of the show. But make sure you hit the subscribe button like I said before. But B, how have you been since the last episode?
B, we talked off camera. I've been okay, man. I've been a little busy. I feel like I'm a little under the weather. I got some in my eyes. So if I tear up, I'm not crying, guys. You know, it's something irritating me. But
he just got done listening to Busy B. That's why he's crying.
Come on, B. We'll get
I could say another name we just got done listening to. And
oh, yeah. Yeah. But I mean, like I said, B, I had a wedding I had to be at. You know what I'm saying? I was granted an invitation, me and my family. But anyways, I had to get suited, B, because we had a whole dinner to go to, what they call a rehearsal dinner. So I'm like, okay, cool. Let me get fitted. You know what I'm saying? Let me find something. So I'm like, I don't want to go to the mall because sometimes the mall, you don't find exactly what you want, what you're looking for. But on Google, you could just Google what you're looking for and it'll pop up somewhere. So anyways, I found a shirt, some pants and stuff I wanted from H&M. You know what I'm saying? I paid extra to get it in like 2 days. So B, they delivered my package through DoorDash. And I'm like, why DoorDash, bro? Like was H&M usually do like FedEx or whatever, right? But I guess it was a fast delivery. They wanted to get it through DoorDash or whatever. So I just bought a house a few months ago and it's a new construction home. So on some maps, my home doesn't show up, B. And I had this situation happen with DoorDash. So I said, let me, I like to get ahead of things. I reached out to DoorDash and told them, could you please let your driver know, whoever's delivering my package, could they use Google Maps or Waze Maps? They actually have my location on there and not the map that's in DoorDash because it sends things to the wrong address. And it was like, well, maybe we can't do much about it, but could you put all this information in additional delivery instructions?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, I can do that. I did it, B. You think homie was listening to it, B? Because I'm watching him on the map. I'm at work watching him. I'm like, he's not going to my house. So I said, his number right here, let me call him. I called him, he didn't answer. I called him again, he didn't answer. I called him, he picked up, B. I'm talking to him, he was silent. Then he goes, no English. I say, I was like, bro, like, hey, yo, look, I'm not trying to be wilding right now, but I'm about to say what's on my mind.
Oh.
I almost understood Trump, B.
At
that moment, and I'm all for my immigration, bro. You know, it's just how I felt at that moment. You know, you become so selfish.
Evil?
You become so selfish and evil because you didn't get what you want. You start thinking bad thoughts. B, that was a bad thought went out my head, but I do not feel that way. It was just anger. I was just angry at that moment.
And you were saying like, things you didn't mean, B.
B, I was in my mind like America first. I was like, what? I want to get my package, bro, because of this. But bro, I was so upset, but I had to calm down and I say, Tevin, bro, this is not that big of a deal. You could just go to the mall the next day and just find what you want. Don't get to thinking and become a hateful man just because of this shirt and these pants you wanted. But no, before I end this story, I just want to show you where he didn't even have the decency to put it on the house that he delivered it to porch. This is what this man did, B. He just was like, hey, F it. if he was just like, F it. I'm just gonna chunk it on the grass. Hey, me B. So when he was driving to that location, I screenshotted it, and I'm like, okay, I know where that street at. So I went to the crib. I'm in the crib playing detective, B. I'm all outside in the grass looking at the photo like, okay, it's bricks here, it's grass here, but where my package? It was gone. And I'm scared to look at the house. I'm scared to knock on the door of the house, B. It's a creepy. The house looks haunted. I'm like, I'm not knocking on that door. Where I live, it's not many people that look like me. So if you see a random man, a black man at that, knocking on your door,
First of all, looking around in your yard.
Bro, I'm already looking in the yard, bro. I'm like,
that's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to find, I need my shirt, man, but make a long story less long. That happened, bro. And it just really, really ruined, bro. I was so mad, bro. I was so mad. Whew. But yeah, other than that, wedding was great. Ate good, hung out with my wife. Good times. Good times. What about you, B?
B, I think I'm finally about to convert over to Chat GPT because this week I had a car problem. Car was overheating. I was looking up some solutions before I actually had to try and see if I had to take it to a mechanic. I went to Chat GPT, put in the exact information, gave it all the context it needed. B, it gave me a plan. I exacted the plan. I'm like, dang, Chat GPT about to put a lot of people out of business. Because if I would have went to a shop, $100 diagnostic problem. $100 diagnostic looking at to get the diagnostic. $100 just for that, not to fix it. $24 for the antifreeze I needed. Boom. That's how much I paid. Ain't no telling how much they would have upcharged me. Right. And I don't tell how much they would have upcharged me for the actual service of putting the antifreeze in there. B, I did all that for the free 99, B. All ChatGPT told me what to do. I fixed it myself.
For real, B?
I was like, dang. I was like, yeah, because I was looking, I'm like, yo, I ain't got the money to fix this. If this is like a serious, serious problem. I looked up the easy solution. I looked up how to bleed the antifreeze or whatever and get the bubbles out, get the air out that way to get the engine cool again. Because my engine was overheated.
Right.
Because I got a leak. And I still got the leak because that's expensive to fix.
But
I actually but I actually fix everything else. I'm like, hold up. I'm like, all this stressing I was doing, it just took me 5 minutes to do all this. I'm like, ChatGPT, you are a godsend. Because if I would have put that in Google, you need to take this to your nearest car dealership. No, I'm trying to avoid that. I'm trying to get something done for the free 99 besides the material I needed. And I did it, and it worked. I was like, thank you, Lord. Thank you, Lord, for the AI. We're going to become Skynet. At some point, all these roads will turn into tracks, and we'll all just be riding on little buggies on the tracks all across the street just to our destination. We're not going to need cars no more. AI going to handle all that. We're not going to need nothing. We're going to have hovercrafts, all that stuff. A lot of stuff will become obsolete, and honestly, I cannot wait for that future.
Hey, one thing they can't save you, B, is you're going to still have to get that coolant. You still going to have to get that stuff. It ain't going to be free forever, boy.
Hey. I'll put some duct tape on it, B. I'll make it work, B. I'll make it work.
On my old car 2 years ago, that happened to me. Like, I had to get it replaced. I had, bro, the whole dish pan, the pan in there was broke as well. So it was just, it wouldn't even hold, bro. It was horrible. I had to pay like $1,500 or something like that.
And see, that's what I'm trying to avoid. Because I know the cost of me actually having to fix the leak, they're going to take the whole grill off and all that. Having to take the whole radiator out to replace certain things. I'm just like, that's $1,000 operation. I ain't got $1,000 for that operation. Do I got that 1,000? Yeah, but not for that operation though.
Right.
I'm saying that for other things.
When that happened, I think 3 to 4 months later, I ended up just getting a whole new car, bro. Because I spent money here, and then the car started messing up again. I was like, bro, I can't. I'm putting too much money in it, and I'm like, I could have paid my car off, but I was like, the maintenance on it, just keeping it up, was just killing me, bro. It was killing me, B. Especially when that coolant, man. I was at work, bro. And I saw all this orange stuff on the ground. Like, what the hell is this, bro? My boss went out there. He's like, "Oh yeah, bro, you got leak." He said, "You better."
Oh yeah. See, but my leak, it's only on when my car is on though.
Mine was
So like
broke.
he keeps the cooling in there. Yeah, no. If your
Mm.
leak was like that, yeah, you had to get
Yeah, it
that
was
fixed.
all the whole pan or whatever, and it was broke. It was broke. Oh, bro, it was crazy, B. It was crazy. Anyways.
No man. But be enough of my problems and my solutions I gave to it because I'm a man. Let's go ahead and talk
Mhm.
about hip hop B. Let's go ahead and get into the news section of the show. Let's talk about music releases and announcements. Internet coming soon. Sid was caught by TMZ and she said, "Hey, we getting the band back together. The hiatus is over. We're working on a new album." B, are you hyped for
Mhm.
this?
Yeah, man, I'm actually ready for this, man. Sid be doing her solo stuff. I don't know what the other guys be doing. I know they musicians. They probably play in different bands. I remember Matt Martian, but Steve Lacy also. He's been, he had number one
Had a
hit
huge
the
hit a
last
few
few
years ago.
years. So he's has some solo work that I enjoy as well. So man, them all getting together with different things they learned, being individuals and some of the success they have, and them all so coming back together. I think we're gonna get some greatness, man. Maybe get a Tyler feature or something. Tyler, the creator. If you guys not familiar with the internet, they actually a branch off from Odd Future and all that. I remember when they used to put
They
out
are B?
stuff. Yeah,
Oh wow, B, I did not know that. Would
I know
Frank
you.
Ocean be part of this group too?
Oh my God. Some people out there probably didn't know. But I remember
Got
back in like 2012 when they used to release little EPs on the Odd Future website. And I never knew it was Sid actually singing and stuff like, because
it.
more than it was like a more instrumentation, a little bit of vocals, you know what I'm saying? Till they actually put like a full fleshed out like mixtape or something, I remember. But no, man, I've been a fan since like 2011, 2012 when they was putting out those little EPs on the Odd Future site. But yeah, so I'm in it, and my wife actually loves the internet as well. So
Mm.
yeah, so this is something we could jam together.
Yeah, I like the internet as well, so I will be listening to this when this comes out. I haven't listened to them since I was in college though. But I'm not saying they're bad. It's just, they fell off my radar. But yeah,
Yeah.
I'll be listening to this. B,
Mm-hmm.
new state mandated 21 Savage album dropping soon. I know you're really hyped for
Mm.
this, especially off his last album.
Not hyped for it, but 21. And sometimes it's like you forget about 21 Savage. I don't know if anybody else feel that way. Like 21, I forget about him sometimes. Like you think about the year of 2024 when we have the rap beef, right? And 21 dropped the album in the first quarter of the year in January, and it was one of the highest selling albums that year, but it was also forgotten about. Nobody talked about that album anymore. Like it came out that
B,
year.
it wasn't worth talking about. That's why.
That is true. But at the same time, 21 Savage to me is an artist that I tend to forget about. And he has, star power. He is a good, well-selling artist. Like he sell pretty well and he's really popular. And I just forget about him musically at times. Cause I feel like when he was at his hype, of course, they'd be in our face more. But right now, it's just like we just knew him about the Young Thug phone calls that leaked. And other than that, like, where has he been musically? Has he been featured anywhere? Or I'm just
I
missing
think
it?
he's
Was he
been on
on Young
features.
Nudie album?
I
What?
forgot.
I know he's on,
I have to
of
see.
course, he on the Young Thug album, but other than that, I just feel like 21 has been like MIA this year, musically, or even just publicly. I actually forget about
Uh
him.
Dang, I'm trying to see where his feature. He was on the Metro Boomin album, I think. I think I'm not sure. Dang, I'm trying to see where all he was featured at because I completely forgot. But I feel like
Yeah, he on that.
I feel like I've heard him recently, but I'm not. Besides
You
the Young
probably
Thug
have,
album.
but B, I'm just saying, like it's been a really quiet year for him musically. Even in the year when he dropped his freaking album last year, he was still quiet. If you just think about it, just look at it. It was like a silent. He had like that silent year of like, okay, people. He put it out in January, and then you still had his core fans actually still listening to the music and stuff, but it wasn't talked about at all. And I didn't see it in no list last year at all as being like,
Good,
oh, top this, not even top 25.
good,
Yeah,
good.
yeah. But
That's
anyways,
rightfully so. He earned that.
yeah.
But yeah,
If
I mean, I'm gonna listen though.
I might listen, I might. I'm not. I was. I like 21 Savage in the beginning of his career mostly. A lot of the like Savage Mode 1 and all that, and the free Guwop mixtapes and stuff like that. I was really into that stuff. He was more. I was in a dark space in time around 21 came out, and I was just like evil, and I'm like, yeah, man, it's a knife. You know what I'm saying? Hey, bro, that was when I was in my sad boy moments, bro. I was listening to 21 Savage, Lil Peep, uh,
UGK, Trippie Redd.
nah, who? You said
I said
UGK Trippie Redd. See,
MGK.
now you
I
you
said
being disrespectful.
MJK.
MGK and Trippie Redd. Oh my god. But I was listening to So Much Fun over the few days. I think it was yesterday actually, and I forgot MGK was on that song with Young Thug. And my wife was like, "He didn't sound pretty bad on it. He was okay." I was like, I guess solid.
Still get him off.
Yeah, get him off. I was like, I forgot he was on this song. Skip.
Yeah, because I remember at one point the album released without him on it, and Young Thug like had to fire some management or whatever. Just like how this album, there was supposed to be a
Mhm.
Raw Way feature on there, and it wasn't on there. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that
Yeah.
same situation is going to happen again. But Danny Brown, Stardust, 11-7, B. You hype?
Oh man, I'm actually hyped for this, man. I think like Danny. I watch his podcast not as I used to watch it like weekly as it drops on Fridays, but I haven't. I kind of been off of it. But if you don't know, he's been sober. He has like a new lifestyle. He's been living more healthy. You know what I'm saying? And shout out to Danny. He's getting older. He got. Well, I think he's a granddad or something. If I'm not mistaken now, but just overall, just seeing these artists from the blog era, and also Danny was like an older artist as he actually got put on when people started to see him. He was like in his late 20s to early 30s, I believe. When people actually start to know who Danny was. And now he's in this point of his career when he's sober now. He's actually collaborating with all different type of like producers and musicians. He got I think it's going to be a lot of electronic, a lot of industrial, even from the song. Was it Stardust, the song, or Starburst? What was the name of that song I showed you earlier? B, I forgot the name of it.
I forgot the name of it. I didn't,
Yeah.
but I don't think I really saw the name of it like that.
Yeah. Oh, you didn't, and then have it on there. Let me look real quick. I just want to see, just because. Yes, I think it's called Starburst. That the name of that song.
Okay.
A lot, it got mixed reviews for certain people out there, but I like it. I enjoy it. And I'm ready to see what Danny gonna do on this album. B, I don't know. What do you think?
This will be the first album that I've heard from Danny in a long, long while. Because I think the last album was the album after Atrocity Exhibition, which I really did enjoy. I enjoyed that album as well. The one after Atrocity Exhibition, I think it was called the Danny Show. I'm not sure. It was like a rainbow colored background.
Yeah,
He was his head was coming out the corner. Yeah, I wanted to listen to Quadreca, but I don't know what was drawing me away from it. But Danny Brown is someone who I like his music. Triple X to me is like a blog era classic staple project that you have to listen to. I'm interested to see where he goes with this one, but you showed me the song, and I it fits Danny Brown. I just didn't like the beat, but that's just my beat preference. It's not a bad Danny performance or anything like that. It's just I didn't like that production because that's just not my style. But depending on the context of the album, which I'll be talking about later with another song, I might enjoy it more in the context of the album if it's more fitting and it's more kind of like transitioned well into or sequenced well into. So yeah, I'm interested to see where this album goes. I'll listen to it.
Okay. Yeah, shout out to Danny, man. He's dropping November 7th. I saw some people saying, yo, no Bruiser Brigade on the album. Like none of the people from his label. I don't know if they like upset about that, but it's his album, man. I'm getting to the point where it's like let's just once we hear the music, let's really judge. It's his album. Let him do what he want to do. For the last few years, he's been putting his label on his back, giving a lot of guys a shot. This is just something he wants to do. Let him do his thing, bro.
Yeah.
Remember,
plus,
these niggas
albums are made with intention.
Facts,
You
and
ain't
they
got to put
human,
everybody
bro.
on your album.
Right, they human. They just like us, bro. It's their work. Let them do what they got to do. Even though we still look at them like entertainment, which I'm gonna contradict myself later on in the show anyway. So it is what it is.
Hey, but contradicting yourself, B. I know you're really hyped for this Gunna and Offset collab album. Gunna has confirmed, because we've talked about it rumored before, but Gunna has now confirmed that him and Offset weren't working. But right now, his album, he put out an album earlier. Offset put an album out a little bit earlier as well. They both have features on both of their albums, so it's just a thing to work together for them. These are the two outcasts of Atlanta hip hop artists right now because of Offset being casted out of the Migos and Gunna being casted out of YSL through Thug. So I'm interested to see where this goes. I wonder if this is going to be like an underdog project. I know this is going to be an album that sounds a lot like the same thing because both of their albums that they dropped this year sound like a lot of the same thing on each of their albums themselves. So, yeah, not hyped for this, but this is going to be probably premium gym lifestyle music. So yeah.
I'll say that well, yeah, like they got exiled out of the Rap Caviar playlist. You know what I'm saying? They no longer
No, they didn't get
involved in
exiled
that.
out the Rap Caviar.
Oh
No,
no,
they in there.
oh yeah,
No,
I
no,
know
no,
they
no.
are.
They got exiled Atlanta.
Yeah, it's mostly like most of the guys that most of the Atlanta guys that be in there. I was just making a little joke, but I know Gunna was gonna be in there. Because Gunna, he out of Gunna and Offset, Gunna is like still more popular. But I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna listen to this. If they put this out, I need like 11 or 12 tracks. Like you said, it's gonna be a lot of the same. So it's like don't do too much. You know what I'm saying? Do it like a without warning type of like deal. You know what I'm saying? Like what?
You know it's gonna be 20 tracks.
I hope not, man. Like we don't need 20 tracks of Gunna and Offset. Like they have like Prada them. What's called Prada. I like that song with them together.
Yeah.
I think that was a really good song. But like other than that, man, like give us like, come on, 8 to 11 to 12 tracks. We don't need 20 tracks. Please. We don't need that, B. You know what they're gonna do. You know the game they play.
Yeah.
But we don't need that, man. Just like if you want to put out good music and you want it to be received well and not just think about the money, which I understand. The money is over everything. But
if they wanted to be received well, they wouldn't have been releasing the few projects that they have for the last few years.
Yeah, I know. It's just like sometimes,
and I've been keeping
man,
up with all those albums.
Yeah, I still, I'm a Gunna guy. I like Gunna. I just still haven't listened to his last album. I haven't listened to it. I just don't want to listen to an album that's like fucking 2 hours long, 30 tracks or whatever. I just don't. Like I struggle with the album we're gonna talk about later, you know. But yeah, shout out to Gunna and Offset, man.
B, let us know what albums is dropping this week.
Man, it's been a really, really slow. What? This we're in the third quarter. Like it picked up. And then now it's kind of slowing down. So some of these names I'm gonna name, y'all probably never heard of. So here we go. We got Bryson Tiller.
That Bryson Tiller dude. I've never heard of him.
We got Bryson Tiller Solace that's dropping on the 2nd of October. I know B is excited for this. Bryson Tiller is like one of his goats. You know, Trap Soul is a classic to him. He said Bryson Tiller is one of the best singers that ever came out, especially in our generation. But yeah, we got Solace, and this is supposed to be the R&B side, right, B?
I'm hoping so because that last album, the first disc, get that ish out of here. Hey, remember Bow Wow and the Johnson family reunion? Look, that's me when I heard that first disc. I threw that out the window. That was bad.
Yeah, get him out of here.
Yeah, I'm hoping. Yeah, because his pen is nice. His songwriting is nice. But that rapping, I don't know what the F he was doing on that first disc. But get that out of here.
All right, so the next person we got Life of Tom and Plain Pat, Driving Blind. Life of Tom, I'm not too familiar with this guy, but I know he rocks with what's called Lord Skull. I think that's his name. These some New York cats. Like mid underground type of deal. Lord Skull got a good voice. Life of Tom, I heard a single off this project that's coming out. I'm like, man, I actually like this. So I'm gonna check out this album. So I want to give it a little shine. Maybe it's some people that listen to this that know who he is. And next we got El Camino. If y'all not familiar with El Camino, he's a Griselda affiliate, but he's also signed to BFS, right? Yeah, Black Mafia.
Black Soprano family.
Black Soprano BSF. My bad. I'm tripping.
You talking about Benny stuff? Yeah.
Benny Gang. My bad. El Camino. He's a scammer. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't get their records from this guy. I remember from old times, man. Early COVID days, how El Camino finessed people. I remember this nigga tweeting and Westside Gun be like, "Hey, where my money at?" Like classic. You know what I'm saying? Classic moment. But yo, if y'all guys are into El Camino, want to be like Max B type rapper, y'all do that. I just gave it some light. I probably shouldn't have because he's a scammer. But yeah, we're going to move on. We got Micah 9, Blue and Mono in Stereo. I don't know if this is a EP or something, but I guess it's a collab album between Micah and 9, Blue and Mono L Stereo. I don't know. Mono is the producer. I know Blue. And I think Micah 9 is the lady, right? The female MC.
I don't know any of this, B. B, I don't
I
know.
thought you told me about Michael 9. Am I tripping?
Yes.
I'm tripping. It was another chick,
B,
right?
you thinking about you thinking about another B.
Oh, Michael 9 is a rapper, bro. I'm tripping, bro. I'm tripping, bro. Bro, I'm sorry, bro. Michael, I know. Oh my God, I feel so bad right now. Take my card. Take my card. Take my card, bro. Take my hip hop card. But
Yeah, don't
anyways,
worry, we will.
take my hip hop card, please. I don't know. I'm having a rough morning. I have something in my eye that's irritating me. I have a little common cold. Pardon me. But yeah, I don't know Mono in stereo though. I don't know if he's a producer, but this is something I might check out because I'm a Blue fan. So I might peep. If you guys gonna peep, let us know in the comments. But yeah, we're gonna move on. We're gonna go south. We're gonna go down. We're gonna go down to Memphis. You know what I'm saying? Tennessee. I think Don Trip from Memphis. Yeah, he from Memphis. Don Trip. Forgiveness is God's Job, Part 1. If any of you guys not familiar with Don Trip, he's a dope rapper. I like Don. He puts out a lot of work. He puts out a lot of music. I think last year, 2023, he put out like 7 albums. Like he was just dropping albums, bro. And him and Starlito dropped something this year. And they did like 2 versions of it. You know, it's the duo, the Step Brothers. I think they're dope. I don't know if B is familiar with their game. Do you ever listen to them? Or yeah. Come on, man. Yeah. But yeah, I'm not gonna check this out and be honest, but it might be some people out here that didn't know Don Trip was dropping, and I still want to shine some light on Don Trip. So yeah, and the final album that's supposedly dropping this Friday is YG The Gentleman's Club. I think that's this Friday. YG put out 2 singles earlier this year. You know, he got vulnerable on one of them, talked about, you know, being, you know, fooled around with an older woman and things like that in his teenage years. So I want to know his approach to this. Very interesting. I feel like YG hasn't been the most present as well, because I feel like when you got an album coming out, I need to see you somewhere. I don't care if I don't watch it. I need to just go through YouTube and see you pop up on freaking Bootleg Kev, or see you at Drink Champs, or you pop up on maybe Joe Budden podcast, or just see clips on you on Twitter pop up. Even if I'm not interested in the album, I need to see your face somewhere because I need to know that this album is coming out. And I haven't seen that from YG, and this makes me always think nothing is dropping this Friday. This might get pushed out a little bit for he could get into some guerrilla
But
marketing.
also, we didn't really have no marketing behind his last project, which I believe he's fully independent. So his last album didn't really sell well because there was no interest in it. Yeah, he had a little Drake subliminal on there as well, but that also didn't do anything for it.
But
So,
I thought that was just a song he put out. He put out an album last year?
Yeah, it didn't sell. See, that's how bad it sold. Well, I mean, it's not bad selling because he's independent, so you know he's going to be making all the bread on top of that. But it wasn't talked about because no one cared.
He put out an album last year?
I believe he put out an album last year. I could be wrong on that. Let me see.
Just Read Up 3?
Maybe.
It says 2024.
Yeah. Just Read Up 3. Yeah, this is it. Yeah, he put out an album last year. B, it's a 2-disc album. No one's talking about this.
Damn. All right. Oh well, my bad on that as well.
That's what I'm saying. It's the same thing. It's about to be the same thing happening with this. The only thing is he had a popular single off of this one because of the subject matter that he had.
Yeah. But like, and I know the lovers are friends with Leon Thomas. I heard that too. But my whole thing is, he put out the album last year, and I know the Re-Up series is a mixtape series. So I don't know if he was like trying to push it as an album because he didn't have a single that's familiar with the 2 singles he dropped on this album. He has like the Lover track, like Wanna Be on the Radio, and he has a track that's more vulnerable. And he's being more, like I said, being more vulnerable, man, more open about some of the past traumas he had in his life. So I'm thinking the perspective of that. So it's like, I'm thinking, that's an album feel. That's the feel of an album. So the Re-Up, yes, how things is in this generation now, a mixtape is an album, right? But I just think if you got this album coming out, I need to see you somewhere. And you're YG, you still have tap with the grassroots. You still can hit up even smaller creators, and they'll be happy to have you on because it's a good look for them, regardless, having even someone like YG on there. So I don't know. I just don't see him much, man. It's just like the whole Bert Fayez thing with his album. That's why I knew that wasn't coming out, because my
Yeah, I
nigga,
just
like
think
you
these
ain't
artists
done
don't
nothing.
care about this no more, and they think that just off their name alone, they gonna get some traction.
No,
It don't work like
bro,
that.
and I know everybody referencing the Clipse rollout, but like it's this most simple rollout. Hit up radio stations. Hit up, you know,
The
grassroots
Breakfast Club, Hot
publications. The
97,
Breakfast Club. Just go.
podcast.
Just it's simple, man. Get your people to get in touch with these people. Make the time. Do what you got to do. Even though, like I said, if I'm not gonna listen to the album, I know you have an album coming out. And if I didn't know you was album coming out, didn't have an album coming out, now I know and I can go tune in. You know what I'm saying? It's the simple, it's so simple. But yeah, shout out to
D,
YG,
you're right.
man. I
It's
hope it come
simple, but
out.
does he care though?
I don't know, man. He probably don't. He probably don't. But yeah, that's what I have that's coming out next week. It's much more. I say this all the time. It's much more albums coming out, but I'm not for to shine a light on all of them. You know what I'm saying? I'm just not.
All right.
So
Let's get on to the hip hop news and current events. B. Metro Boomin found not guilty in his weird case. Yeah, he said the truth was always going to come out, and he basically won. The judge I know found disturbing what the victim, I'm putting victim in quotes because that's what I want to call her, but I mean she wasn't a victim, so, or at least she wasn't proven in court to be a victim. And she was saying how like she talked to Metro's dead mother in her dreams, and the judge found that very disturbing, something along those lines. I remember reading it this weekend, and I was just like, this is such a weird case. This is a weird case, and not in the terms of like what Kendrick called it, but like a weird case. Like,
yeah,
this is just a. Let me find a best way to say this. She might not be fully right in her mind. That's all I got to say.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that he wasn't incarcerated. I know he was still working while this whole case was going on. He put out a futuristic summer. He still had all the stuff that he was working on with other people as well. I believe a JID project that's supposed to be coming soon as well. But he's found not guilty. Now he doesn't have to, pay attention to that. Now he can focus on the music. B, how do you feel?
Man, I'm happy for him. That he's not guilty, man. Because stuff like this takes out artists, entertainers, because they're public, so it's easy to get them wrapped into things like this. And like that, I didn't even read much on that. So like you saying that, or like her saying that she spoke to his dead mother, and that's very off-putting, man. Like that's like, come on, it's like you're trying to like pull at something, and like what you trying to say that his mom knew he was guilty, and like all this type of stuff. You trying to play with the dead, like stuff like that's not cool, man. Like, saying you have to believe people, like they have a whole saying, believe all victims and things like that, but not in the context of like, we hear it. But I don't know, man. I hope this lady gets some help, man, because it don't seem like she's well. Like I said, I haven't read much on the case, so I don't know all the details. But sounding from that beat, just hearing that, like, oh my God, you spoke to his dead mother in your dreams, like.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I like Metro Boomin. I do hate the way that some people like Soulja Boy go at his mom. I hate the way that academics brought his mom into that argument one time. I just hate when people bring someone's dead mother or dead relative or parent within something that doesn't need to be involving them. It's just like,
I
why?
don't.
Yeah. So I hate when stuff like that gets involved because it's just nasty.
Because I know Soulja Boy apologized. I don't know about DJ Academics, but I know Soulja Boy apologized to him.
Not.
Yeah.
Yeah, but also Soulja Boy ain't right in his mind either, so that makes sense. We can move on from that because that's just nasty. Is Tyler done touring? He's basically said, like, after his last tour, even though he didn't tour for Don't Tap the Glass, he did tour for Chromacopia. That he feels like he's done touring for a while. It's going to be a very, very long break that he's going to have because he's not young anymore. He's not able-bodied like he used to be. B, his joints ain't healing up. He's not able to have that Wolverine healing factor like he used to be. How do we feel about this as people who don't go to shows and concerts?
I think that he's probably just reflecting on what he's gonna do in the future, and from his last release with Chromacopia, he talked about almost having a kid and kind of reflecting on life of like what I'm doing and things like that. And I know he's in like a serious relationship. He talked about it on like the show, like he'd be with his girl or whatever. So like maybe he having those talks when he said like, hey, if I have a kid, I'm gonna chill. I'm gonna be gone. I want to actually be in my child's life. So maybe he's looking at the future and him having some kids, you know what I'm saying, and just kind of, you know, detaching himself from music for a while and actually coming as a fresh, new, different Tyler, and maybe come back to touring, but in a different light and not being so energetic. Maybe a little more laid back show, you know what I'm saying? More intimate. You know what I mean? Because sometimes when you get older, you know, we get to the point where like you start having like some type of like identity crisis, not knowing where you fit in the world. And also being an artist, I know that could be really tough because you have a lot of younger people looking up to you and they're not in the same space, you know, that you're in, and you're gaining all these new fans, especially with like, even with his new album, he has this TikTok like challenge and people use that song. You got all these new fans and you're like, man, it's hard for me to relate to these kids now. You know what I'm saying? Because it's like, I don't have all this energy no more. I don't want to do all this right now. I can't move the way I want to move. Like, so I don't know. Maybe he's just having a reflecting period. Like he's what I'm 31. Tyler's a few years. He was like 34 for to be. You know, dude. He's 6 years away from being 40 years old. Sounds crazy. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. It's just a lot of reflecting in life as you get older, bro. I've been doing it a lot, B.
I think what Tyler's doing is kind of necessary, especially for an artist of his magnitude and what he does, because Tyler has been very consistent in terms of like output of music. So with each output of music, he's going to be touring. He's been touring for all these years. It feels like Tyler's always been releasing a project and being consistent with it. So I think he deserves a long break. Like I said, he didn't do a tour for Don't Tap the Glass because I believe, released it while either while he was
Chroma Tour,
touring,
yeah.
I forgot. Yeah, and so yeah, honestly, that's not even an album that really should be toured with, because I think that was one of the more forgettable projects that he put out. I'm not saying it was horrible or anything like that. We have a review of it on the channel if you guys want to check it out. It just wasn't an album that had a lot of staying power or impact itself, but it just felt like the fun album that Tyler really wanted to put out that was really quick and simple. But yeah, I think Tyler definitely deserves a break. I think he's been very consistent, and I think Tyler might be trying to get into other ventures. That way he doesn't have to rely on music, because touring is a big factor when it comes to these artists getting paid. So the fact that you said that you want to take a long break from it might mean that you might be trying to work on some other things, which I know he's trying to get his acting career going, maybe with his A24 film debut with Timothy Chalamet, I believe. So yeah, yeah, it's cool.
What was I think the film's called Murder Supreme, and he done like acting in the past. He's been in like some TV shows. You know, he had Lord of Squad, and you know he was younger, more energetic. He was busy, and now, like I said, you know, family, maybe like you said, getting more into acting, other ventures. I hear him on a Nike commercial. Is it a Nike commercial he's on? So it's just it's different things, man, that you gotta, and also reserving your body. Like he toured like all albums, and even on this Chromacopia tour, he's still performing the songs from Don't Tap on the Glass. He's still performing those songs. So, you know, maybe it's just a lot. He's like, dang, like, hold up, bro. I'm doing a little bit too much right now. And like you said, the joints not healing the same way as they was healing when I was 24. You know what I'm saying? Now I'm 34. It's a little different. And hey, B, for someone that's in his, you know, early 30s now,
dang,
I ain't gonna lie. I ain't gonna lie, B. It ain't the same no more, bro. I remember my shoulder was tweaked for like, bro, half of this year from me throwing something wrong. And I was like this would have healed in like 30 minutes back in the day. You know what I'm saying? I'm finally good now. Like, and that been earlier this year when that happened. And I'm like, okay, I'm finally straight. Cause you know, come on, bro. You know, us black men, us men, period. We ain't trying to go to the doctor. Something happened, be like, all right, it'll be good. Let me drink some water.
Hey, look, take a pain pill. You'll be good.
Yeah, I'll be all right. I'll be all right. I'll sleep it off. Hey, you know, you sleep a few times, you wake up and you still feeling that same way. You like, like, what's going on? I remember telling my wife, like, dang, man, like, what's going on, man? My legs still hurt. Like, because I stumbled going up down the stairs when I lived in the apartment. And like it was just tweaking. I was like, what's going on, bro? Like, it would have been fine when I was younger. 2 years ago, I'd be good. But nah, man. Shout out to Tyler, man. I like to see us, especially in our generation, these guys are growing and they're growing older with us, and then we can see them, you know, switch up a little bit. I think the next Tyler album, B, if he take this break, is gonna be a little different.
I hope so.
Maybe he finds some different
we didn't need
chords.
reheated nachos, B. Oh yeah, the progressions will be definitely different, B. Oh yeah. But B, speaking of growing older, we haven't been speaking about any type of beefs lately. But Nas is winning, B. He got the casino. Jay-Z did not. Literally, Nas said on King's Disease 3, he texted Hove the other day and said, this still ain't over, Negro. And he's proving it right now by getting this casino approved, B. Now, how do you feel about this capitalist war that's happening between the two New York Giants, the two biggest MCs of all time? How do we feel about this, B?
Nah, man, I just think it's just crazy the things that we have to get into and we have to push. Like, I'm not trying to get super like political or super like deep, but it's like it's always like rappers that have to push the liquor, the gambling, the drugs. It's like let's
Basically,
find
the
some
bad
other.
vices.
Yeah, man. Like, why we trying to like? I'm not a resident of New York City, and I'm not speaking for them.
Not?
I'm not. But what does a casino do for our community? Like what
Make 'em
do a
broke.
casino do? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh, it's creating more jobs. It's like vice versa of like what proves that it's creating jobs and it's not creating jobs. Like, but one thing we do know is that these are going to be lower paying jobs. This is going to bring more crime into the areas. They're going to know tourists is going to go to these places and try to gamble. Some people going to have money. Some people, it's just look at Vegas. Just look at these places, bro. It's certain places, yeah, when they have like really good, I guess, moderation when it comes to casinos and stuff like that. But like in inner city New York, where it's like poverty and they talked about the whole Jay-Z situation, well, how like the casino he was trying to build was going to be in a part of Times Square where it's going to affect some of the what was the plays, like I can't think of the name of it right now. But plays like shows, different like Broadway is gonna affect like Broadway and stuff like that. So I don't know, man. People say, you know, it's gonna create jobs, it's gonna do this, but I don't know. I just don't think why are we pushing gambling? Like what's the point of that? It's like
I
we got all
mean,
these we
yeah,
got all
no,
these
you about to say the podcast with the prize picks and all that.
we got all these podcasts, DraftKings. We got all this stuff. It's like it's nasty work, and it's like you're promoting this stuff to the people that don't even have the type of income or the just the funds to even just do this. A lot of people they put in holes, and what I hate be it's like it's the whole like when you know you buy a pack of cigarettes and it goes this may cause cancer. You know you gotta put in those
Disclaimer.
disclaimers of like if you're having gambling problems, so it's like this is don't do it. Like it's bad. Like no, you know this is gonna harm people. Why promote it? And I feel
But
the same way
B,
with these casinos.
it's gonna save people on gas. That way they don't have to go out of the city to go gamble. Now they could just do it in the city where they live. B, they could put their car up for collateral. B, get the money for that and go gamble it. B, they don't need their car anymore to go drive out of the city.
Man, you know most people in New York don't have freaking cars. Got one of the best public transportation in the country. But you also be riding with rats. But
They be around Master Splinter. B,
hey, Master Splitter. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I just think it's nasty. Shout out to Nas and Hove. I know they on their, you know, like I said, they try to be these entrepreneurs, make these goals, you know what I'm saying? And the one thing about Jay-Z, right? I watched a little clip of him talking about how yeah we are from these projects, we are from these areas, so it should be people that's from here that can contribute to the communities and put the casinos in these places. I'm like, that's so nasty, the framing of that. You're not from there anymore. You're not in those project hallways no more. You're not dealing with the problem. You're not dealing with none of that. You have islands, Jay-Z. You have mansions.
And why would you put a casino in a poor place?
Place.
What? How does that benefit the community?
Oh, we're
How?
bringing more. We're gonna bring the people with the money in these communities. We're gonna circulate the money, and I'm like, no, it's not their money. They're not
So
spending money.
gentrification didn't be.
It's all like gentrification everywhere. Look at this, B. They're not okay. Are you gonna have black-owned vendors or like immigrant-owned, like you know, vendors in these casinos? Or are these people gonna actually have the money and be able to circulate? It's like, what else are you doing for these communities and bringing in bigger sponsorships from other corporations that's going to get that money and not the people. I don't know. I just think it's nasty. I just think it's
Oh yeah.
nasty, P.
Oh, it's nasty, but B, they got the money. They gonna put it up and they gonna make the money. We'll see where this
Yeah.
goes. We'll remember this. Remember this episode, guys, when y'all watch this, and remember what we said. And let's see 5 to 10 years from now, what'll all come from this.
Yeah. Bunch
This
of
will be very
malarkey.
interesting. Facts. But B, besides that, I got a very important question to ask you.
What's the question, B?
What have you been jamming since the last episode, B?
Man, not a damn thing again, B. It's been a really busy week for me. Work been crazy as well. I got a lot to do for work this coming up, especially tomorrow. But I listened to a few things. Not much. I listened to Thundercat new tracks he dropped. I watched the video. He put out 2 songs. Children of the Baked Potato, Remy Wolf, Children of the Baked Potato, and I Wish I Don't Waste Your Time. And I Wish I Don't Waste Your Time is the song I listen to. It's typical Thundercat, really good vibes. You know how his vocals are, got that bass. I enjoyed it. It's pretty dope. I'm looking forward to whatever he's for the drop soon. So if you guys Thundercat fans, go check it out. I don't really got too much to say about the song. But last week we had 4 on, and we asked 4, what are you listening to? And he said, I'm listening to Destin, Laurel,
Oh yeah.
Mercy. And I said, you know what? Let me check out this project.
I forgot to.
B, this is a good project, man. Shout out to 4. I actually enjoyed it. You could tell this kid is a trier. You could tell that this kid wants to make great albums, great sounds. He has samples in here, B. A lot of like huge samples, but he sampled some stuff on here. The production on here is for who he is. I don't know what money he has backing him, who is funding this kid. Production was great. I like the theming, the melodies he put in. The rapping is cool. It's not like something that just stand out, but he has these themes in his album that he's focused on. I feel like each song is like focused on a narrative that he's trying to paint. And it all feel and coincides together with the sequencing of the project. Really good album, B. And I listened to this last night. I'm like, I need to figure out more about this kid and like his background. Especially, I don't know if he's producing this stuff or anything, but like it's really good. I really enjoyed it. It gave me vibes of like, it kind of reminded me of how I felt about Jim Legacy's album, the UK kid that put Black British music out. It gave me that feel. Not stylistically, but just the trying, the want to put out a good body of work, actually having a story to tell, the ambition. Because this is things that we missing in hip hop and music in general, especially in our space. We want artists to actually focus on albums and create a journey and have some type of experience with an album and not just throwing songs on an album, making it feel like a playlist. So I am happy that this kid allowed me to listen to an album and I felt like I was experiencing something and being on a journey. And this is the type of things I like, man. This is what I like and this is what I want to get from an album. And this is what makes albums. And I'm not saying everybody's going to like this, but I really enjoyed it. And I will continue throughout this year to actually promote this album on my little platforms. And, I think this is something good that people should pay attention to, man. Shout out to Destin Laurel, man. I actually really enjoyed this. I had fun with this project. Did I listen to anything else? Oh, listen to the single from Life of Thumb and Plain Pat, like I said, and featuring Lord Skull. I really enjoyed this. I like Life of a Thumb. I like the production he was on. I don't know if Plain Pat is just is he producing this or just promoting this? Plain Pat. You remember Plain Pat from like the Kanye Kid Cudi days? So I don't know if he's just managing these kids, but nah, man, I liked his voice on here. He actually got a song called XO Tour Life that's going to be on the album. I want to know his approach to that. You know what I'm saying? But I really like his voice, man. I really liked how he was rapping on here. I was like, hold up, man, this is dope. So who is this? I was familiar with Lord Skull, but I didn't know this kid. He got features from Wiki on me in here, Wise Boy Jeremy, and Suave. Suave is a guy I talked about on the platform. earlier this year. But yeah, I'm gonna check this out. The single I listened to was called 42nd Street. It's really dope. I like the beat on here, and I like both of the features from both of the artists. So y'all guys check them out. Other than that, I haven't listened to nothing else. I've been the only album I actually just been listening to. I talked about it last week, and that's been Ka Crusade, Joint for You. I think that album has been in rotation heavily, heavily a lot. I just love the sonics of that album. That's probably gonna be in my top, maybe in my honorable mentions or top 10. Just from pure replay value. Just the vibe of that album is so smooth and chill. It's so easy to listen to. So yeah, that's it, man. That's it. What about yourself, B?
So B, and this is why you guys come to the show, because you get a very different perspective on what we listen to and what we both like, because what I listen to is very vastly different from you. What I have on my top 10 year list is very different from yours as well. But one thing I could say that I agree with you with is that, we've been listening to a lot of albums and we don't kind of stick with these albums. So I've actually been doing a lot of re-listening to certain projects and albums.
Okay.
I actually went back to Lil Uzi's Eternal Atake 2 because I just felt like that was such a overhated album. And with all the talks of him versus Cardi B because of the diss that she has at him towards JT on her album, a lot of the Uzi fans were trying to pin up like, oh, first day numbers, like, dude, Uzi is more popular than you. Uzi did way more numbers than Cardi B. Cardi B is watching. I went back to EA too because I really liked that project. I think that was in my top 10 last year. And so I went back to it this week and I re-listened to it like 2 or 3 times because I'm just like, this album is still so overhated. I don't get why people hated this. And guess what? I've been seeing those same sentiments now being echoed on Twitter. And I'm like, I told you guys overhated it. You guys don't know what you want with Lil Uzi. Because this is literally what we want from Uzi. You guys just did not like it. He's never going to appease anybody. And I kind of wanted to make a video talking about where Uzi went wrong and how Uzi could not appease the people, because when Uzi did go in a different direction, when Uzi did go in that, okay, I'm going to do what Playboy Cardi did, but I'm going to go a little bit further than him. Basically, all I'm saying is that EA2 is overhated. EA2 was what we want from Uzi, but the people didn't want that from Uzi. And it's like, if you don't want that from Uzi, what do you guys want? We're not getting an EXO Tour Life Part 2. We already got something similar to that on EA1. So I don't get what you guys want. And I've even been seeing people say that EA1 is one of Uzi's best albums, which I'm just like, dog. So besides that, I re-listened to that. I re-listened to Yeat's Dangerous Summer. This is definitely going to be in the top 5 for me because this is a 10 out of 10 Yeat project. This is such a great Yeat project. The consistency, the cohesiveness, the sequencing, the energy, the flows, every song sounding unique and dynamic, while Yeat has such great personality and charisma over these tracks, and the production itself. This is like a top 5 project for me of this year right here. This is, to me, one of Yeat's best projects, probably his second and or third. And also, I re-listened to Let God Sort Him Out. Still my album of the year.
Yeah.
Great project. Great rapper. Now, I can't say great production, but the production has been, it's been growing on me a little bit more. The more I listen to it, I'm just like, dang, I really love this. Like, there's just certain songs where I'm like, there's some highs on this album. I'm just like, I'm not saying that there's low points on the album, but there's some really high highs. I'm just like, So Be It. That is such a perfect beat. Ain't nothing wrong with that. The way that they flowed on that. Oh, POV. I know a lot of people like FICO. I'm just not that big of a lover of FICO like that. Do they have good verses on there? Yes, but songs like So Be It, where I'm being brought into this world, this atmosphere, this dark, grimy feeling atmosphere, and then the way that Pusha and Malice are just flowing on it. Oh my gosh. Let God Sort Him Out is still my album of the year. But the only new thing I listened to this week was Doja Cat's newest album, Vibe. I'm not sure how to say it. I like it, but I cannot say that a lot of it stood out to me. And I got to do some more listens because there was some lyrics that kind of threw me off to a degree where I'm just like, oh, I'll still love him, if he was gay or something like that, or if he was bisexual. And I'm like, wait. I'm like, wait. I'm like, this is taking me aback. The lyrics are taking me aback a bit because it just threw me out of nowhere. Obviously, Doja Cat's going over the same type of subject matter over most of the songs of, liking someone, it's pop music, basically, essentially. She is rapping on here, obviously, but this isn't like a consistently rap album, but she is consistently rapping on the album. You get what I'm saying? That's what Doja Cat does. And I like the sonic vein that she was in, but I do have to say that it does get a bit samey to a degree. But I did like it. It definitely reminded me of some like 70s, 80s, but modernized like black soul samples. Like, I mean, not soul samples, but soul music. Like, it had certain, not black soul, but black pop. That's what it reminds me of, like stuff like the Whitney Houstons and all that stuff. But it's not like super that to where it's like, oh, this is like a super different sound. Like, this is like synth pop right here. But it does have that older sound to it, but it's not old sounding. It's hard for me to describe it, but basically I like the album, but that's it though. I like the album. I didn't love the album. The album sounded a lot samey to me. A lot of the time subject matter was very samey as well, which I don't have a problem with, but I didn't get those super standout tracks like Doja has been dropping within her past few projects itself. But yeah, I enjoyed Doja Cat's Vi. I still like Scarlet more, and I like a lot of her other previous projects more, but this might be one that I have to keep going back to just to get some of the lyrics that she was talking about and just to really feel what the album is about, because I only listen to it like twice. So yeah. B, is it time to talk about it, B? The man of the year?
Yeah, Scuti, or whatever it's called.
Scuti. I don't know how to say it. He said it on the album. He only said it once, and I still don't know what it means. But let's go ahead and talk about it, B. Young Thug, UI Scuti. This is his first project, coming out of jail, coming out of being imprisoned. You know, he had a lot riding on him. Pause. He had them jail call leaks. He had the whole situation with him beefing with Gunna. He's coming off of a great album with so much fun, besides Business is Business, which I do enjoy, but a lot of people don't like it, even though that was the album that he released while he was in jail. He had a lot riding on this album. This album got delayed, potentially because Cardi B was releasing last week. And, you know, it was ladies' night instead of, you know, when he was supposed to be dropping or whatever. He had a lot riding on this album, B. I am not the biggest Young Thug fan. I like Young Thug. I don't love him, but I've been following his career since the blog era, since Gucci Man basically introduced him. 1017 Thug. This is basically when I've been following him. I don't like or love every single Thug project, but I do like a good amount of them. He's one of the most impactful and influential in the game, especially when it comes to Southern hip hop. But B, Scuti. This album has received a lot of mixed reception online. And B,
is it
you're
mixed?
I've seen a lot of mix. I've seen people saying they love it, Thug is back, and I've also seen people like Thug is washed. He shouldn't be picking up a mic no more. You know, they're picking up my sentiments on a lot of other rappers. B, I really want to hear your thoughts on this album because I have mine, but I want to hear yours first as the non-resident Young Thug fan.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not the biggest Young Thug guy. So much fun. I like the first half of it. But yeah, man, I had to turn this album off after listening to the first song, B. When he got into his N-word spat, I was all right, I'm gonna re-go, but I'm gonna start it off from Yuck. So I go into Yuck, and I came back and I was like, all right, I'm driving around. I had to go look for some stuff. Anyways, so I'm listening to Yuck, and I'm like, Young Thug doesn't sound confident on this. His voice is a little different. I think he's a little rusty. Ken Carson on here. I wasn't really too mad at his verse for some reason. I'm like, it's just whack. It is what it is. I didn't really care for that song, Yuck. Going to On the News. Have you ever seen your face on the news? Have you ever seen Cardi B actually probably had one of the best verses on the album. Her verse was probably the best verse on the album to me. From the features, in my opinion. I'm sorry. This is how I feel. You ask my thoughts, B. Don't give me those looks.
I know.
But Young Thug on this track, like I said, didn't feel confident at all. His voice is not the same. He don't even get into his high pitched vocal tone anymore on this. To me, like it's like he said in a recent interview how he talked about his style and how he used to wear the dress, and he passed that down to Uzi now. Like he dumbed himself down. And I'm not going to give him too much flack on this album just because of his circumstances with the stripping of some of the content that he can talk about. So anyways, we got Catch Me I'm Falling, From tracks like this and other tracks, Young Thug is trying to be more vulnerable about how he's feeling. He's been crying, he's been sad. It's a lot of his friends became rats, blase blah. The subject matter is not much differently. I'm not even gonna go down these track by track. I'm just gonna sum up my thoughts fully. Um, Young Thug is trying to be as vulnerable as possible, but it doesn't hit and land for me on this album. Miss My Dog is a cool track, but some of the stuff just wasn't there. It still feels rust. It's a lot of rust on this album. I'm gonna be honest, a lot of rust. I went going back and listening to So Much Fun and being like, wow, he was having so much fun. Right now, you could tell that he is don't know what to do right now, which we all predicted that he was gonna have. It was gonna be a struggle for him to think of subject matter because you got a song when he goes, yellow, some yellow like Goku, I'm the shit like doo doo. You know, it's like you got signs like you got lines like that, and it's just like, come on, Thug. Like put it together, strip away all these long songs and kind of make not long songs, but drawn out like track lists and kind of like I feel like you did a little bit too much. You know what I'm saying? You could remove a little bit of this stuff and kind of like focus on the song, the songwriting itself, and to get out the vulnerability you have, and then trying to hop on a viral moment with the Whoopty Doo song. I remember tweeting, "Do not put this song out, please." This song is so bad, it's so dusty, and then he has a second part to it. Whoop-de-doo, you do this, and he tried to get more melodic with it. And I'm like, you're embarrassing yourself with this. And I was getting secondhand embarrassment from listening to Whoop-de-doo. It was so nasty. And then to get on the RIP Big Mac, RIP Big and Mac, I actually like the production on here. Young Thug sounded okay on this. T.I., don't go on the freaking diatribe of a fucking donkey again in your life. You put the donkey on the dirt back, on the dirt on the donkey back. You knock it off. That donkey be back. Try to kick like me. Bet you thought you could. And now I'm like, man, get out of here, T.I. You just sound like a drunk uncle. Just stop it. Sad Spider, you know, he's sad again. I'm so dope. It's like so lazy. I'm so lazy. That was like one of the laziest hooks from any Young Thug I ever. I'm like, he has really. It stripped him from any creativity of like all the freaking barriers they put on this man. That the "I'm So Dope" song was like, is he really saying this? I'm so dope. That song was lazy. Okay, the what up Jesus with I'm gonna skip the Sexy Red track. I didn't care for the Lil Baby track. The Wife and Lucci track is a track that would you like the Lil Baby track?
Lil Baby had a standout feature on here. What are we talking about?
His verse was cool, but it's Lil Baby. I don't really care for Lil Baby. Like it didn't do nothing for me. I'm not saying it was bad. I just don't care about it. YF and Lucci is, you know, these guys have beef, you know, so much stuff happened allegedly between these two. And them actually collaborating on YFL Lucci album and and Young Thug's album. This gave me like a old of Atlanta, like a certain time how I felt the hook, even from the production. So this track was cool to me. I wasn't like, oh, this sucks to me. This was a cool track. I kind of like how Young Thug actually sounded on this track, and I thought it was okay track. And then the Walk Down, I didn't care. 21, I don't care about that. The Travis Scott didn't care. The Lil Gotti, 1300 Saint didn't care. Future didn't care. Mariah Carey I just didn't care about this. This is just too much. Dreams rarely do come true. The second half of that track, I actually enjoyed. I like the sample they did. I like how Young Thug was like doing this little crooning on that, and I love the production. And then Miss My Dog was a song I felt it was way too long. A good track, but it got to a point where he was just rambling and trying to apologize to people that heard his calls. And I'm like, it is what it is. But overall, this album is very confusing to me. Just because I know Young Thug don't like this album. I know he knew he had to just put out something because he's hot right now. He's not happy with this project. He can't be. This is some of the laziest, phoned in, not knowing how to express his emotions. Hearing from some of the recent clips from his recent interview he has with the Pivot podcast, Young Thug is a lost man, and he says he don't need therapy. He talks to his family. He needs therapy. He needs to actually get these thoughts out from a professional that actually can help him articulate and understand what he's going through. But he's a very lost gentleman right now. And from this album, you could tell it is a mess. It's a mess. And that's pretty much all I really have to say.
For me, like I said, not the biggest Young Thug fan, but going into this project, I was very skeptical of what he was going to rap and talk about, because while Young Thug is a creative mind, I'm like, a lot of the projects that he has come out with, especially in the streaming era, have all been bloated to a degree. There's always going to be some songs on it. Always. Like, it's never a 10 out of 10 project. Like, even though I love So Much Fun, I think it's his best album, yes, there is some bloat on there as well. Going into this project, I already knew it was going to be bloated. Beat 20 tracks. You just came out of jail. All right, so let's see where this goes. Like I said, not the biggest Young Thug fan. Now, I'm not gonna lie. The intro, like with them talking about the court case, him being a YSL, we could not let this guy come out. I'm like, all right, Young Thug, this is the vibe I kind of wanted to come in with Ooey Scuti, even though the cover art is very weird. You a white version of yourself. So going into the project, we got Ninja, and I was listening to it. I'm like, all right, Thug, we getting the regular Thug, we getting the deep voice Thug. But then he gets into what he call his ops. And I'm just like, Thug, I know you're doing this to grab attention. This has to be that moment of you trying to grab people's attention. You trying to bring some shock value to the album. You want to bring people in like, oh, why is he saying this? Like, is the rest of the album like this? This has to be one of those marketing moments where he's like, he knows that people are going to start circulating with this, especially with it being the first track. Yes, people are going to bring this in, because this is the one thing I saw on the timeline that night when this song came out. Because I listened to the first 3 songs when it came out, and this is all people were talking about. I'm like, this is a great way to grab people in, to bring people in, or to either deter people from actually listening to the rest, which you either love Young Thug or you don't. It's one of the two. But to me, this album has a very, very slow start, because the first 3 tracks, like I said, the beginning of the first track was cool. Yuck, I did not like it. I was like, Ken Carson had such a weak feature on there to me, and to me, Ken Carson does not thrive in this field where it's not rage. Like, when it's not rage, he does not thrive, because just like Travis Scott, they're not good lyricists. They're not good penners when it comes to songwriting or anything like that. So to have Ken Carson on a beat that's so stripped down where I gotta focus in on his lyrics, I'm like, this is not good. I do not like this feature. On the News was very repetitive. Cardi B gave an okay verse. Obviously, like you said, better than Thugs, yes, but to me, this wasn't the one where I'm just like, oh yeah. To me, it starts really going into the album with Catch Me If I'm Falling, when he starts to get into that vulnerability that I did hope that was going to be on this album, because I'm like, yo, what is Ooey Scuti? What is this? Is this an alter ego? Is this a person? Is this like a motive? Is this like a catchphrase? What is Ooey Scuti? Effing Told You, cool. Then we get into Whoopty Doo, which was a song that we knew was not going to be on the album, but it had to be on the album because this is a viral moment. He's trying to capitalize off of the whole podcast clip of him saying Whoopty Doo and it going viral crazy on TikTok. And when I heard the snippet, I'm like, no, this is not good. When I heard the song, I'm like, all right, this is like fun Thug. Like, I can't be mad at this, but I do see like you're trying to capitalize off of you saying Whoopty Doo. And then the second part of the track comes in, I'm like, all right, okay, you getting a bit more like less fun, but it's still in that same vein of fun. Then we get into Blaming Jesus, Sad Spider, more vulnerable tracks, which I really did enjoy because he's talking about his experience in jail, even though this is very, very surface level, like Rod Wave level surface level. It was cool to me. Rod Wave was supposed to be on one of these songs, but just like on So Much Fun with MGK, someone on his team messed up and didn't put Rod Wave on the feature, and so he said he's gonna have to do some firing in the AM, which there is another version of Ooey Scuti with an extra track on there with Quavo on there. I heard it this morning because I didn't know until this morning. That song was cool as well. R.I.P. Big and Mac, T.I. gave a really great verse, but I thought T.I. was retired. He's been on like 3 projects this year, but he's supposed to have been retired. So I'm very curious, like, T.I., are you really retired, or are you just not making your albums anymore? Because if so, just say that. You still giving out. You was on Jermaine Dupri's project, Magic City. You was on Futuristic Summer. You were on this project. I'm just saying, I'm a big T.I. guy. I know you really don't care for T.I. like that. T.I. going on this big old monologue at the end. I thought it was funny, but on continuing listens, I'm just like, all right. Invest into you. Every time Mariah the Scientist is on the track, I'm like, she cannot sing. I don't care for her on these hooks. It just wasn't doing it for me. I'm So Dope. I agree with you. Was a very lazy track. Very repetitive. Pardon My Back. Lil Baby gave a fire feature. B. The bracelet is rainbow, but I ain't gay. B. Come on, B. Hey, Lil Baby's verse, hard.
What?
Thug
And
over
then
here,
freaking
hard.
Cardi, then not Cardi, but Thug had to like on his verse had to say something. I ain't gay, but some rape. I'm like, bro, come on.
But this is my thing, B. Thug, I need you to make back up with Gunna. I need you and Gunna to get back because Gunna would have been perfect on this. Oh man, we just need the trio back, B. The Father and the Son and the Holy Spirit. We need them back, B. Mommy, it was cool. I mean, it was. What Up, Jesus, Wife, and Lucci? I agree with you. This does sound like the blog era / futuristic style of Atlanta traps, the Atlanta music sound. I did like it. It felt like an ode to it. So, this was a fun track. Walk Down and Pipe Down. Obviously, standard Rap Caviar songs. So, you know what you're going to get with that Rap Caviar songs, like I said. Spider Jeffrey is the one with Ovo. This is standard Rap Caviar as well. This was added to a different version of Ooey Scuti that released recently online as well, but people ain't talking about it because people just don't know. Then we got Revenge. I'm not gonna lie to you, I was feeling that. I like the production, I like the song, I like the features, everything about this song I like. And funny enough, Money on Money follows that. I did not like Money on Money as a single for the album. I still don't like it as a single for the album, but in the context of the album, where the sequel started in the album, I enjoyed it. I liked it more. Dreams Rarely Do Come True. This was a cool song, but like I said, Mariah the Scientist doesn't add anything to any of these songs for me. I get it, they're dating. This is his woman. You want to put her on, y'all get money together. For me personally, Mariah the Scientist doesn't do anything on this album for me. Then we got Miss My Dogs. I love this track. I love the vulnerability. I love Thug apologizing, not taking full accountability for everything, obviously, but I do like this track. But I do not like the way that it is cut off on streaming. I like the version of the music video because the way it ends in the actual streaming version, it just feels like it just cuts off abruptly.
It just shuts right off.
Yeah, and I'm just like, we couldn't let the beat play out a little bit or slow it down. Like, it literally, like, when you put a fade on in the video, you put it for the last 2 seconds and it just drops. I'm just like, that felt so weird. But I do like it as the ending track to this project right here. But I will agree, this project is bloated. It's all over the place, and it's not showing the best of what Thug can do on this project right here. A lot of this was kind of phoned in. A lot of this was kind of rushed. He's trying to put a project out. He's trying to capitalize it in the music itself. I get it. You're trying to make this money move. You're trying to make these money plays. You could tell that he really probably wanted to delay this project so he could put that Whoopty Doo song on there, to be real with you. I'm going to be honest because literally that track started going off. He already had the release date for the first album. And with streaming, you could do that. You could hurry up and delay something and put something out real quick because all you're doing is sending over files. But going over this project, this is a bloated mess. I do like a good amount of projects on here. I didn't mind replaying it, but there were songs. I did like a good amount of songs on here. Thank you.
Now you good.
But the replayability for all of this project right here, there are times where it slows down. There are times where I'm like, all right, I got to go through this. There are some standout tracks on here, but overall as a project, I thought it was fine. But I'm referring in terms of like Young Thug's catalog itself. So Much Fun is still a much better project. Barter 6 is a better project as well. Beautiful Thugger Girls is a really good project. Jeffrey is a better project than this. People are either going to love this or hate this. I enjoyed it enough to where I'm like, all right, there's a good amount of tracks on here that I like, but overall, the stripping of the actual content matter, the stripping of him not being able to work probably with everybody or not having those features that he really needs, like a Drake feature on here. I'm not saying this because I'm a Drake fan. Obviously, Drake was on Business is Business. He was on the previous project on 2 songs, and those songs were bangers. But coming on here, no Gunna on here, you could definitely see the missing points on this project right here. And like he said in the interviews, he doesn't have everybody around him to make that music or to have fun with anymore. And you could feel that in this project right here. I'm not saying woe is me for Thug because obviously Thug isn't being held accountable for the things that he's done in this stuff, but the life the life of what's happened with that case is now affecting the music, and so that's why I'm bringing that stuff in here for added context. But yeah, overall for me, this was cool. There were some songs I really, really did enjoy. I enjoyed Doug being a bit more vulnerable and talking about his experience in jail, while it was very, very tame and surface level. I thought it was cool.
Yeah, right. Man, I just want Young Thug to like, get his mental right, because being in prison and stuff like that can strip away your just your feelings, especially thinking you're facing 100 years can make you be a little like daunting of like not being able to be out in the free world anymore. And that stuff strips your motivation, man. Like you don't be in jail all hyped, you know what I'm saying, just ready to rap and make music. So I just think that we need to give him a few more albums, give him be out a little bit, and then maybe he can find his voice again and actually understand what direction he want to go into and find that fun, collaborate with different people and find another way to speak on the things he really want to speak about as well. Because I know it no more gang talk, you know what I'm saying? It's some of that stuff you kind of miss. You kind of miss a little bit of that stick talk, you know what I mean? I'm not even gonna lie to you, but it just is what it is. I like you said, B, it's a few tracks on here I liked as well, but I will not be returning back to this at all. Young Thug, um, I hope the best for you, man. I don't know if I might listen to your next album just to see what it is, just to see how far along you're coming in this new area in your career right now, because it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tough.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of scrutiny he's been facing, B, from each side, especially even from the song, the Ninja song. Like, my dude, why would you do that? It's just some stuff you got to do and think about as a public figure, like what other people will do with some of the work you put out. You got these white streamers just like, oh yeah, playing the song, just that part and just loving it. It's just like things like that. I'm like, we just don't think, bro. Like come
And
on,
see,
bro.
but B, when have we known Young Thug to really think for the greater good of everything, though? And so my thing is, because I've seen so many think pieces about the Ninja song, I've seen so many memes about the Ninja song over this weekend. And my thing is this: Young Thug was never the brightest person. Like, Young Thug is a business, man. He's thinking about money. Young Thug has never been the guy to have big sales. He's trying to capture that audience of having big sales. And I know a lot of people are like, Young Thug, you got to think about the white audience that you have. You saying this rhetoric, now I saw people bringing in Kanye song, Double H. You get what I'm saying? They was bringing in that song like, oh, are the streaming services going to take the song down like they did Kanye's? And I'm just like, all right, dog. A lot of people are like, oh, we could talk about gang violence and all that type of stuff. And y'all don't want to say anything to those people, but you want to say something to Young Thug when he says the hard R. I'm just like, hi. I'm like, Young Thug was just cloud chasing. He was trying to grab a moment because this part of the song will not age well at all. I mean, it's not good now, but it definitely won't age well later on as we go further down. This will be a meme moment. This is a for the moment. That along with the Whoopty Doo. These are tracks for the moment, not tracks that are going to be long lasting in his discography or career. But yeah, B, you got any final statements on this project? This hour and 17-minute project?
Just Young Thug, man. I don't know, bro. I just really don't think that it's the criticism of him right now, because he has so much barrier, so much like handcuffs. He's cuffed. Some of the stuff he could talk about, being stripped from his friends, them leaving him, they're rats now. I'm a rat. I'm a rat. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, a rat. Obama a rat.
I'm a rat. So it's like, it's kind of hard for him to like actually do what he wants to do. It's hard for him to do it. So it's like, I'm grading this on like a scale. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna be too hard on him. I'm what's the word I'm looking for? I'm being more lenient, I guess, with him.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little leniency. But your next album, buddy, get it together.
I think he needs to go the T.I. route, B. He needs to just start reading the dictionary every day to get his vernacular up. The hypotamus, the he needs to start doing that. Like when T.I. went from T.I. versus T.I.P. to Paper Trail, he needs to have that trajectory. He needs to start reading the dictionary, B, so he can start articulating his words.
Hey, nah, that's gonna be a little too difficult for Thug.
Oh, B, you say he can't read?
I ain't saying that. He talked about reading in the interview. I don't think Thug is dumb. That's why some of the stuff he
I
did
think he's
like
ignorant.
that. Oh yeah, I think there's a lot of stuff you don't know. Yeah, I think everybody ignorant.
Yeah, to a degree. Yeah.
Yeah. What about you, B? What's your final thoughts?
This is an okay album. There were points in there where I was like, okay, this is what I wanted from the project. But then there's also points in here where I'm just like, oh, come on, let's step it up. This could have been cut out. This is way overbloated. But it's like I gotta blame it. I can't fully blame it, but some reasons for this. Streaming. You gotta have more songs so you can have more streaming numbers. People been wanting more Young Thug music since he's been out of jail. His last project was Business is Business. And the stripping of the content matter and the actual him not being around all the people that he was with.
Right.
Because having Gunna in here probably could have elevated this. The subject matter of him being a tough guy could have probably elevated this. But he can't do that anymore. So that's what I'm saying. He can only really go the T.I. route from T.I. versus TIP to Paper Trail. This is the only way that we're really going to get a Supreme Young Thug album. But also, to me, this was a more tame Thug because he didn't have that wacky or weirdness about Thug that really makes him Thug. That really created all these other babies of Thug because B. Went back to Saw Baby's project earlier this year, saw him, and I'm like, we talked about
B,
it. You doing a better Young Thug than Thug.
I told you he was a dumbed down version of Thug. Like so stripped down.
Mm-hmm.
None of the theatrics. None of it. It just was weird. I was like, am I actually listening? This nigga, is this Young Jeffrey? Like, what is this? This not Young Thug. This is different.
Well, B,
So.
this has to be the person on the front of the cover, Uwe Scuti. The person, the white guy with the blue eyes. That's the Thug. Maybe that's why he made it. Like, he took out the seasoning, B.
Boy stripped the seasoning off, B.
Uh-huh.
Man, bro. That's a nasty cover. I ain't even nasty.
Is. Oh man. Hey B, maybe he's putting his hands over his ears. That way he doesn't have to hear it either.
I saw Ken Carson's like he posted his and was like, I got vitiligo. It's like
Did you see Young Thug? He posted a whole bunch of like
all my friends
21. Yeah.
Oh my God, bro. These Negroes.
Oh man, but that's our thoughts on Uwe Scuti. If you listen to this, let us know what you think about it down in the comment section down below. And if you're not going to listen to it, there's probably going to be a million reasons why you wouldn't. Let us also know why you ain't listening to Uwe Scuti. Yeah, but being topics to conversation at hand, be Hip Hop 101. Go ahead.
Hey man, so if you guys haven't seen the video, I'm thinking about playing it. You want to play it, B? A little clip?
Yeah, play it. Give the people some context.
We give them some context. Let's give them some context. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong thing.
It's not hip hop, but Kendrick is definitely hip hop.
Right. I would say that again. To me, I don't think Drake is hip hop. Kendrick hip hop. Yes, I believe that because again, Kendrick talks the culture. It's not just about bitches and hoes and how much money you got and the cars you drive. You know what I mean? Which the rappers do. That's what they do. That's what the rappers do. So that's Drake. Now he's saying, or if that's what y'all call it, that he don't kick off to me as a hip hop artist. So that's my take on Drake. But Kendrick does. Before it's not like us or they not like us. I'm talking before.
Yeah.
Kendrick was considered hip hop to me.
Well, who would you consider the 5 greatest MCs, excluding yourself?
KRS-One.
In no particular order. KRS-One.
Right. Rakim.
Okay, that's 2.
Big Daddy Kane.
3.
Dougie Fresh.
Okay, that's a good one. 4.
That's my student. That's the one I brought up.
Nice.
And I'll put Kendrick for the new
Kendrick. Okay,
the new up and coming.
Now
for the new up and coming, B. I'm sorry to laugh. Look, but I'm sorry for laughing about the whole Dougie Fresh thing. But like I don't care if that's your student, but having this man as a beatboxer.
B, that's the Luke Skywalker of the rap game. B, what you mean?
Anyways, so the conversation is gonna veer more into, is Drake hip hop or is he not? We had this discussion a few times on this platform. And if you know, you heard us talk about this, we believe Drake is hip hop. We don't agree with what Drake did with the lawsuit. We know that it was selfish, and we know that it's not a hip hop thing to do. But overall, musically, even if he's a pop star, even if he sings, Drake is still hip hop. He's still a student of the game, and we have to admit it. And how we want to spin all these narratives that, just because he was at URL rap battle events doesn't mean that he wasn't doing that just to promote himself. Like, my nigga, that works both ways. There's no way you could prove something was a selfish gain in situations when it benefits two people, two platforms. It's hard, unless you just don't like the person. Busy B, you a legend. I respect what you did. You're a forefather of hip hop, right? But my dude, my nigga, you're out of touch. I feel like, me being a student of the game, I went back and listened to some of the older stuff. You got to start somewhere, B. And I want to tell our listeners out there, go listen to some Busy B tracks. Go check out some Busy B grooves. You know what I'm saying? Go listen to it. Because some of these people opinions, you're not really going to really care about when you listen to the music, about what they say. Because just because you was there first don't mean your opinion is valid. And I don't care, bro. My mom and my dad, if it wasn't for me, I wouldn't be here. But there's some things that they say it's asinine. I just don't agree with it, and it's wrong. And they out of touch with certain things. Just because somebody was there first don't mean they right. That's why I'm gonna leave it off. But B, what's your thoughts?
With Busy B's definition of hip hop, hip hop really hasn't been hip hop since Public Enemy. I don't know what hip hop is if we're not considering everything after Public Enemy, because 50 Cent,
Yeah,
Mobb Deep,
yeah.
lyrical, but they're not talking about the super black struggle of everything. The only rappers that he could really put in there, Mos Def, To Live Kweli, half of Kanye. Everything that he's saying that's applicable to Drake is applicable to every other single rapper, especially ones that are on the radio that have hit mainstream. Literally, the term money, cars, clothes, and H words come from something. That was a stereotype in hip hop. To just put that on Drake is crazy. B, Nelly isn't hip hop. T.I. ain't hip hop. Jeezy ain't hip hop.
Jay-Z not hip hop.
Oh yeah, he said Jay-Z ain't even an MC for real. He didn't even list Nas and anything like that. So that lets me know he's out of touch, because Nas will wrap circles around everybody he put in that list, maybe besides Kendrick. And then he calls Kendrick up and coming. Sir, Kendrick been out and been killing ish since Section 80. Really over dedicated, but I'm talking about the mainstream since Good Kid, Mad City. He's been killing ish. Talking about up and coming. That's how you know you're out of touch.
For the up and coming. It's just like, bro, the future is now, old man. Like, come on, bro. It's like I get sick of this, man. I get sick of this when like you could tell when somebody like actually listening and understanding what's going on. Even though you could be off on some things, but you also can understand when somebody understand the concept of what's going on right now with what hip hop is and what hip hop's not. Like, hip hop misogynistic? Is hip hop it's homophobic at points?
Yes.
Like, hip hop is a whole bunch of things, and I feel like we like to pick and choose what we want to be hip hop and what we don't want to be hip hop. It's like we got to embrace the good, the bad, and the ugly. If Drake the ugly or a bad part of hip hop right now, It just is what it is because he is hip hop. And we got the Kanye West. We are all flawed. That's one thing about music and hip hop in general, that we're open to everyone. And some people, they have these thoughts and these talks about gatekeeping and things like that. And I'm at the point where like it's too late for any of the gatekeeping. When you wanted to be a rapper in the industry in the early 80s and you wanted a record deal, the gatekeeping was over. Unless y'all was putting the right people in place in those positions, executives and these labels, they want the money. Especially now, it's a numbers game. It's a viral game. This whole gatekeeping and keeping hip hop so street in the culture and for the culture, that stuff, like I said this a long time ago, it ain't been like that since Sugar Hill Gang popped off. Like when it was in the streets, like when record labels and any type of money get involved in hip hop, it was no longer gatekept. The floodgates is open. I can go in a closet in my house right now and make an album if I wanted to. And I could post it on SoundCloud and nobody can hear it. But I'm putting out hip hop music. It's just that easy. It's so simple now. Drake is hip hop, bro. Drake raps. Drake has tracks and put on artists, or not even just put them on, but collaborate with artists that's hip hop and actually gave them bigger platforms. Like I said, I brought up the URL stuff. He goes to battle rap events. Name any rapper at any statue of Drake that's at URL events and hosting them, like not just hosting them, but just there on stage talking to the people. Like that's unheard of. Someone at being out there at URL events, and I like battle rap. I'm a battle rap guy. We have to understand, especially Busy B, you need to get in touch with what's going on right now. This nigga said Dougie Fresh, B. The Human Beatbox is one of his. I don't know. It's just
is
some of the
Dougie Fresh
stuff.
the one that was in? No, I'm thinking of who was the one that was in Men in Black? Dang, what's his name?
Who, Busy B?
Nah. He was in Men in Black. He was the one beatboxing with Will Smith to communicate he was an alien.
Probably Dougie Fresh.
You got just a friend. Dang,
That's
Biz
Busy.
Markie. That's what I'm thinking
Biz
of.
Markie. I said Busy. Who I said?
You said Busy B.
I meant
I'm thinking
Busy.
of
Biz Markie.
Yeah.
I meant to say Biz Markie. My bad, because
Yeah.
Busy.
No, you good.
I meant to say Biz Markie.
Yeah. But B, that's hip hop, B. Beatboxing. It's because Drake wasn't beatboxing on any of his songs.
B, look, let's just bringing up beatboxing. Y'all gotta understand, when time goes, things leave culture. Certain things in like American culture that just we don't do no more. We used to have this thing called slavery that we just don't do no more. We used to have this thing called beatboxing and hip hop that's just kind of like gone. We used to have this thing called breakdancing. That's an element of hip hop that was really ingrained in the culture that most people just don't do no more. It's like a small group of people. Y'all have to understand, some things kind of like get grown out of certain things. You know what I'm saying? So,
but that's because it's supposed to grow and evolve. It's not supposed to stay the same.
I know it don't. And my whole thing is, just because someone's not doing what you want them to do, don't mean it's not what hip hop is. It's not what you want it to be. It's just, I hate that. I'm like, stop this. I'm telling you, it always give me like this whole "Make America Great Again" thing. Remember I said that before? Like, it just gives me that vibe of like, get out of my culture, get out of my country, hip hop first type deal. Like, we can't experience. Yeah, but we have to experiment with different styles and different things. Yeah, some of this stuff is not good. It's not good. Like, no, not everything is good. Everything is not going to be good. But like, we gotta like embrace more things. It just is what it is. I'm sorry. Y'all just gotta get with it or get lost. The future is now. It is what it is, man. Biz Markie, Drake is hip hop. And it's coming from a guy that
Busy B.
I mean, my bad. Busy B. See, they names. I like Biz Markie, my bad. The Vapors. That's my stuff. I'm a hip hop guy, bro.
You
Like,
are?
even y'all names was ass, huh? Busy
I said you
bee.
are?
Yeah. The suicide. What's that song? He's
B
trying to
Y
step against
B.
me,
I've
get
never seen you
suicide.
beatbox, so therefore you're not hip hop. I've never seen you beatbox. It sounds like you're hyperventilating, not beatboxing.
Spit all on the
Man,
mic,
I
B.
just hate these is Drake hip hop conversations because did we not get room for improvement in comeback season? What about all the songs that's popularized Drake and him putting other people on?
Yeah,
I
I
hate
don't
these conversations
I don't
because
know.
a lot of the points that they say apply to 90% of other rappers. So I'm like, what are we talking about, dog? Like, just shut up.
Just stop
Y'all
it.
just don't like Drake and just say that. Just say y'all don't like Drake. Just say that. You don't have to make these asinine points that you think are just particular to him. And you think that they just be the I feel like this is segmented into my rant B.
Yeah, bro. It is. We if you want to go into it, we could.
I'm gonna say this real quick. I got the
It's a
yellow
good segue.
do-rag on like I'm Goku right now. Toure, put the goddamn mic down. You know how I usually say that at the end of the show, B? I'm doing it early today. Put the mic down, Toure. You do not need to talk about hip hop. In fact, you don't need to talk about Drake no more. Because everything you said about Drake, that whole thumbnail, I'm glad you put your face in it. Because that corny AF applies to you as well. You look like the old man trying to be cool and all those. If you guys don't know what I'm talking about, I'm talking about Toure's 7 reasons of why he hates Drake. Now, me, I'm a Drake fan. And I understand if you don't like Drake. There's plenty of things to not like about Drake. Plenty. So I'm not mad if you don't like Drake. But when you make a video in the big year of 2025, our Lord's year, and you're talking about things that's been happening that aren't new, I don't care. Drake has ghostwriters. Prove them. Prove it. If you go on his albums, because I know you're not buying albums. If you go on his albums, literally if you go on the writing credits, in fact, if you don't buy the album, cool, go on Spotify. Show credits. It says the writers on the songs. It says the writers in the actual album. I made this point plenty of times. Drake has ghostwriters. Drake is corny. You're corny too. 2 peas in the pod. What are we talking about right now? Drake is anti-hip hop culture, but hip hop culture is built on rebellion. So you're mad at someone being rebellious on how the way of hip hop really is? I'm so confused because you hate him rebelling, but hip hop is all about rebellion. All right, dog. Drake is palatable for the people. If I want to make money in this business, B, he said it before that he wants to be on top of the game. Did he not conform to what the game was moving towards? Did he not shift the culture in a way to a degree? Did he not inspire so many other artists after him? What are we talking about, man? Drake didn't understand the control verse. B, we still talking about the control verse, dog. What the F are we talking about? Toure, shut the F up. And you adding all the memes in there does not substantiate any of your points at all. They make you look corny. They make you look like a goofball. Grow your beard out, man. You look like a man that's trying to recapture his youth right now. Stop it.
Hey, Tory, man. Tory, I need you to make a video breaking down that case. I want to know what's going on. What happened with your coworker? Talk about what happened with your coworker, bro. What she was saying, what you want, you was asking her what you like, what you want to do to her. Break that case down, and I want your fans to actually see who the real you is. You nasty little nigga. You and Drake in the same group. So
But
freakazoids.
Drake, look, he had an actual case. Drake
No,
does not.
I know, but I'm talking about you wanna be freaky, nigga. They got you in court proceedings, you freak nigga. Allegedly, right? I ain't trying to get sued by Toure, my bad. I put a Joey Badass. Ravon, you gay Von. You can blurt that out, B. I ain't gonna do.
Look, all I gotta say is I'm giving it early. Toure, put the mic down. We saw the views on your Drake hate video. It's a booming business still, B. But when he made that Kendrick video right before it, views was looking mighty low. B, he said he got rent to pay. Let me go ahead and talk about Drake some more. Let me go ahead and talk about the guy I really hate.
But I'm gonna put out that part too.
He gonna stretch it, B. Drake uses other cultures in his music. Dog, shut up.
Bro,
Shut up.
Toure look, Toure, bro, he just, I don't know. I try to
You
watch.
gotta grow
I
the
tried to
beard
watch.
out, B. He looks weird. You know
I
how they
tried to
say like
watch.
black people? Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, no, my bad. You can go, B. Go.
I was just gonna say, you know how they say like black people try to assimilate to like white people or try to like conform to white people by cutting off all their facial hair? That's Toure right now. What are you doing? You talking about Drake? That's you.
I tried to watch the Rap Latte pod, but it's like, I don't know. Toure, I just can't. I don't know. I can't get jiggy with some of his points, man. Most of his points, just can't get it.
And Toure is the first person where like how the Drake stands made the meme of like, you talking about something, there's always gonna be that one person that makes it about Drake. That's Toure.
Yeah. And this is what Drake had it wrong. It was like, what? We were just talking about freaking economics. Like, my God.
Yeah, that's all I have to say.
All right.
I think we got time for one more topic.
Okay.
The rapper
Which
retirement plan.
Okay. Okay, look. We got a new podcast. It's called
Not
Let's
us.
Rap About not us. But some of y'all fellow rappers out there, we got what? It's called Let's Rap About This. Jim Jones, Fabulous, Dave East, Mano, right? 4 MCs out here podcasting. Because
Well,
Jim Jones,
they're not hip hop. Remember, Busy B said that what they talk about is not hip hop. Yeah, so you can't say MCs.
Oh yeah, my bad. But you remember Jim Jones had his own podcast at one point. He probably still do. I don't know. But I've been thinking, we talked about this before. Is this the new retirement plan for hip hop rappers, bro? Because they don't have any IRAs, no 401ks. They don't have a union, but they can do a podcast. They can talk. They ain't got to really be out there. Even though podcasts can get contact-ish, it can get hip-hop-ish, especially in this space. It's a lot of beefs that goes on. What do you think about all these former or current rappers? It's kind of like the NBA and the NFL. A lot of these entertainers are making podcasts, talking about the industry, telling these stories. Do you think this is good for hip hop or good for podcasting? Or it's like we said before, it's kind of like stumping on the everyday man, the consumers that actually could talk about what they love. And now, I'm all about competition, but it's like, what do you think about this, B? What do you think?
So I think it's a good and a bad thing because it is stomping on the everyday man. They're not going to be fully truthful in a lot of their takes and a lot of their opinions because they're still going to be corporate tied. They're going to get these sponsorships. They're going to be working with these businesses. And also they still want to keep these friendships with these other artists as well. Some of these podcasts have great ideas and concepts. The biggest one that obviously comes to mind is going to be either the Joe Budden podcast, which has been one of the best successful podcasts ever in general, or Nori's Drink Champs, which is obviously the second best hip hop podcast that we've ever had. Bringing on artists, talking about your upbringing, your career, giving them their flowers, while also drinking and having a good time and just having fun. While Nori is somewhat of a bad host to a degree, because of his friendships and relationships with these people, it works out for bringing these guests on. He is a bad interviewer though, because he interrupts a lot. He puts himself and interjects himself in there a lot instead of letting the people talk on there. But when we got shows like the Jadakiss and Fat Joe one, there's been some cool clips here and there, but you could tell that everything ain't truthful there. They still got to keep those relationships, those friendships. They got to keep all that there. They got to keep the professional business setting there. I just think that it's also not fair because these people also already have a leg up because one, their name, two, yes, it's great to hear these stories from them, but it's like, why interject yourself into the podcasting game through this nature? Like, I don't know. Everybody's trying to follow this Joe Budden podcast formula instead of like the Nori one and making themselves a bit more unique. They're all just wanting to sit on the couch just like Joe Budden. They all just want to talk about topics.
Yeah.
Obviously, they're going to be more hip hop centered. They want to go to sports as well, but a lot of them are trying to follow the Joe Budden podcast formula instead of like doing something unique like a Drink Champs formula.
Right. And I feel like why they won't succeed in like as big as Joe Budden would is because Joe Budden's like the black sheep of like hip hop at points. Like people make fun of him, they don't take him seriously, but he could rap. And he didn't have a lot of industry connections when it came to like major hip hop artists. Like, yeah, he had, he talk like he'll be honest with it. Like he wasn't like sugarcoating anything. Now Joe, he's super corporate. Like he's all these sponsorships, big sponsorships. He's on commercials and stuff. He has stripped down a lot of that filter. He didn't have a filter at one point. So he was in a space where he was easy to like get all these clips and get the virality out and just be himself. And also Joe's a great podcaster though. And I feel like a lot of these other guys why it's not going to work is because when they go there, like, yo, I want to start a podcast, they go looking for the sponsorships. They go looking for the money. I'm not going to do this podcast unless I get this much money involved in it and go into this network. So you got Mace and Cam and they got their deal. And then you get Fat Joe and Jadakiss. They got to deal with Boost Mobile and all this. Like they come to the platform with sponsorships already. With like the other everyday guy like us that's really trying to get on, talk about music from a consumer perspective, it's more difficult for us. And like, I don't care. I just don't think that this stuff will last too much for them because it's like, how much could you recycle the same story? Why are these same guys are going here and here? They're going to go to different same platforms. Older guys that's not really relevant like that and going to tell stories about Jay-Z, about the time that Tupac came over, or like the time they recorded this track at Hove House and when Nas pulled a gun out on him. It's going to be the same recycled stories and stuff like that. But I've been noticing that like with Memphis Bleak and like the it's like the seed of the D-list guys are doing like the podcast and things like that. Like I feel like Joe started that because he wasn't like an A+ artist. He has a hit record and that he was be able to talk on here and just be like give his perspective. But I just feel like it's a podcast bubble and I feel like hip hop is in a stale place to me culturally. And I feel like it's getting so bombarded with nothing but Drake and Kendrick content still to this day that it's hard for me to find something to talk about in the culture right now. Like, we talk about the music and a lot of the music kind of been lackluster in the last few weeks, in my opinion. So I don't know. I just think that, do what you got to do. It just sucks that they could just come in the game and just be like, hey, got a deal. I just signed $2 million. Come do a show. And like
it is unfair.
It is a little bit. It is what it is. We just gotta work harder, they say, B. They'll be in the comments, they'll see this, they'll be like, y'all niggas scared of competition? Work harder with your bum ass podcast. You know how they'll be. Cause they wanna go listen to Jim Jones talk about how he started all this fashion stuff. He bigged up Chrome Heart and all that stuff, and then he go make
and
some
how
mimic
nobody
of Chrome
listens
Heart.
to Nas.
Yeah. I was with the niggas, I was they look up the man, get out of here. Ballin'. Wait till the wave come on. We gonna see what's popping. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. Jail time stories with Max B. That should be the show.
Mm-hmm.
And yes, it should have a cutoff point when you got out. It should not keep on going.
Yep.
But yeah, that's been about it for another episode. Of Beyond Beats and Culture. B, you got any closing thoughts before we head out?
Hey man, this is a real chill episode. Good talks. Everybody, support your artists out there. Consume the music and also get you a physical copy, man. Like Mick Jenkins, I haven't really did a fleshed out thought on that album. I think the downloaded stems, I say stems, the downloading link is out for local files. I think I could send it to you, B. I just have to go on the website and download it. And if you want to listen to the album, but the album's gonna come out, I think, next week or something on streaming services. So if I'm not mistaken, good album. But yeah, keep music creative, man. I really have not much to say. My eye has been bothering me. I got some in my eye, bro. So it's killing me. But yeah, B, what's your closing statement?
I said it earlier. I'll say it again. First off, B, I want to tell you on camera, you were right. The 4Bats marriage wasn't real, B. What? I felt lied to. Just want to say that. Anicia said
All
that.
right.
And secondly, Toure, put the mic down. Don't quit your J job. This has been another episode of Beyond Beats and Culture. I'm Jason Dark Sage.
I'm T.
Peace.
Peace.
Man, shout out to Beyond Beats and Culture.